speaking of a virtual world, if you are online shopping, there is a lot to think about. My next guest has some great advice for you. I'm joined by Tony Anscombe. He is the Chief Cybersecurity Expert over at ESET. Tony, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. And Tony, let's first of all talk about social media. A lot of people are seeing these ads pop up and so forth. Is that something we should be concerned about more than anything else out there right now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the things we're seeing is supply chain issues of the much wanted presence, for example, games consoles and such like. And unfortunately, cyber criminals will hack some celebrities or a trusted person's account, and they'll offer one of those products through that account, a verified account, and offer it to the first person that comes along. And it's a scam. It's just a scam, and we need to be watching out for that. You know, I know we want that games console. I know our kids are desperate for it, but if you see it and it's too good to be true, it really is just too good to be true. Walk away.
I like how you say our kids want it, Tony, like you're not playing any of those games. Come on now, don't. Yeah, you can be honest with me. I delve into it every now and then. Another thing that to be concerned about is, you know, obviously you want to make sure it's a very reliable source that you're buying from. How do you go about doing that and making sure with so much misinformation out there, Tony?
Well, firstly, buy from people you know. I mean, just like you walk down the high street, you go in the shops that you frequent, the brands you understand, do the same online. And if it's a singular purchase, you're only ever going to buy one thing from this particular retailer, check out as guest. Don't set up an account. Don't give them your credit card details. Pay with a different payment option, such as Apple Pay or Google Pay or such like, because that means you're not leaving your data littered all over the internet. And you and I both know that at some stage, most companies are going to suffer a data breach. And unfortunately, our data could be part of that if we've left it on their site.
Yeah, and something else when it comes, you mentioned this data, and it seems to be all over now. And when we go and purchase something, all of a sudden, if we register somewhere, our email folder just gets filled up and filled up. What are some of the warning signs that something could be a scam, especially if it comes through your inbox?
Well, the problem is because there's so many data breaches, some of the phishing emails that land in our inbox these days look and feel very, very legitimate. So my personal rule here is if you see something in your inbox and it looks like a really good deal, go directly to the website. Don't click on the link. Don't do anything else in the email. But go open a browser, go to the website and see if the deal actually is there and whether it truly exists. The other thing that will help protect you against that is to have good cybersecurity software installed and make sure that cybersecurity software is up to date. Because it will block a lot of the phishing sites and some of the scams that are happening out there.
Another piece of information that I thought was really interesting that you sent along to us, Tony, is being wary of good reviews, which seems, counterintuitive, because isn't that what I want? I want a good review. But you're saying, you have to be careful. In what manner exactly?
Well, sometimes the reviews can be too good.
Right.
So if you read the reviews on a website and every review is absolutely perfect, then it's probably fake in some way. They've probably been what's called astroturfing, putting their own reviews on or paying people to put good reviews on. That should be a warning flag that something's amiss. You could be the perfect vendor, the perfect TV host, but I can guarantee there's somebody out there that will write you a bad review. So look for the bad review because that shows it's being honest.
When you're out there and you're looking around for something, of course, the one thing that you have to do is finally purchase something. And many of us, we are creatures of habit and we like things to be very convenient. So what do? We put some, especially if we're going back to somewhere frequently, we put that credit card information there and we save it there. I'm going to guess, being a cybersecurity expert like yourself, that's probably not the right thing to do.
Well, that's something I definitely don't do. So even if it is a retailer you frequent often, having your address and those type of things in there, I completely get, but keep the payment method out of it. So that if there is a data breach, you're not having to then go back to your credit card company or your bank and try and explain actually that you need to cancel cards. It's only a 16-digit number. You can type it in when you purchase something.
What about, you mentioned also in some of the content that you sent along is a virtual credit card, which I had never heard of before. What do you mean by that, and what exactly is that?
Well, you can use one of the other payment methods. So, for example, PayPal, Google Pay, or Apple Pay, because what they do is they only send transaction IDs back and forth. So the payment method you're using never actually goes. And one thing we should mention is if you do end up paying with a credit card, never, ever use your debit card. Never use your bank card, because if a cyber criminal does get the details and they empty your bank account, you might have struggled to pay this month's mortgage or actually feed the family this month. So if you are going to pay with a card, make sure it's actually a credit card.
The last thing is when we're online and we're looking at things. I mean, you mentioned that cybersecurity software.